Hello there and welcome back to the channel. As promised, let's do a banner review specifically for Oathbound Sarafa. She just dropped today. We can take a full look at the kit and the weapon now. Okay, so once again, she will be a provoke tank with character skill usable at start. And she, like Udil, has the utility of an attack break to all enemies. Very useful, very nice. Okay, 2 turns, and that's so weird because usually turns mean like every single action, but pretty sure when it comes to provoke, turns mean like 2 cycles of her skills, or I don't know. Why don't you clarify that for me in the comments? I think you know what I mean. Okay, enter Dauntless State. So here is our unique gimmick. 15 seconds Dauntless State when using water. We had a water provoke tank with Lavanya only 2 months ago or so. He's kind of already dead, and a lot of people didn't like him at first, and I mentioned this before, of course, in the other video when I talked about these units. And because of this deal with the 30% haste, which it doesn't look like it was really planned, and it was kind of done to fix a mistake, and you know, we've talked plenty about that. Now there's no time for Lavanya's unique gimmick to really be used, unless, you know, like one niche scenario I can see him still being able to counter an auto attack in PvP is if you have a team where he's the only instant character skill, and you also have a faster sniper than the other team. Your sniper goes, and then you can click his, and then... Oh, sorry. And then the other condition, that the enemy team has no character skills. No instant character skills. Then and only then, I think, could there be time for auto attacks to come at Lavanya. And this, of course, is for, like, you know... top tier arena gameplay, like if you're in the top, whatever, 10, 20, 30. And otherwise, you know, a character skill is going off. Now we have the super short cooldowns, and that counter gimmick is kind of dead. I think this needs to be addressed. Now he can still be very chunky, as we saw in my last arena video, and that's cool, but his kit is dialed back to accommodate the unique counter gimmick. And now 2 months later, we already have a new counter unit with Dauntless. And I was kind of hoping Lavanya would be the Dauntless one, but it's Sarafa. Okay, and that's really cool. However, 15 seconds, and again, I talked about this before, but I will reiterate. 15 seconds happens very quickly. If you think of an element buff skill 1 on an EX weapon, for example, that's 15 seconds. And in this scenario where, let's say you're doing fate boards and you have 2 DPS, and you click skill 1, skill 2 of the first one, and then skill 1, skill 2, and then as this one goes, the character skill is ready, you click that character skill. But it has to go through skill 2, and then skill 1, skill 2 of the other unit. By the time it gets back to that character skill, that 15 seconds is gone. So that gives you a feel of how fast 15 seconds can wear off in game time in this game. So at best, you're eating 4 skills from the enemy in PvP. And that's if you cast it immediately before their skills are ready, which the timing, the timing of which could be tricky. But this could be cool. I don't know. I really want to try it. Her HP is looking good, and her attack is very high for a provoke tank, and I like this. I think she could be cool in like unique scenarios, like even building her more offensively and letting the Dauntless just do its work. Maybe not even bringing Yuri for the damage reduction, because you can't kill her in that time anyway. So I don't know. I haven't played with her yet, and I haven't really felt it. But I'm curious to know if any of you have. Please let me know in the comments. I did pull her A0. I had to do all 150 pulls. I did 50 on each individual banner without a single thing dropping, and used my pity for Sarafa. So once I get some time, I'll do her karma, run some battles, and maybe I'll do a follow-up video at that point. I also mentioned before, and will reiterate, that I think that her counter gimmick might be even more interesting in PvE. So fate boards, for example, you know, like maybe a big nuke is coming and you drop her character skill right before it. She can't die. Everyone else is healthy. Wait to use your healer's character skill, you know, until like her Dauntless is wearing off. That way she can actually recover from the Dauntless, because previously when you use Dauntless, oftentimes you're almost dead when you come out of the Dauntless states. You're almost dead anyway, and all the heals are gone. Because, for example, if it's like Hina or Griff healers, that's just how it goes. The heals happen during the Dauntless state, and then they're next to death, and then they're just a sitting duck at the end of it. So this could be cool in PvE. Could be really cool. I haven't tried it yet, but all right. So that's flat. All allies defense up 30, and that's pretty cool. Could synergize well with defense attackers, defense skills. And we're seeing more of those skills. You know, for example, on Yuri's weapon, and we'll talk more about that in a moment. Increase HP of equipped water weapons. Liquid poise. I don't ever remember a poise. But we had Gird, which was, you know, to party, so okay. So I think you could juice up her HP quite a bit by choosing the right weapons. There are a good number of, you know, HP water weapons, which I found when building Lavanya. And then the A3 is really nice, a flat 20%, and that's gonna boost your attack power, you know, if you're like participating units in PvP, and then this will be great in, you know, other game modes. Usually you like this in PvE, especially Subjugation. I don't think I would use her in Subjugation though. The debris is cracked. This is amazing. 40% liquid pursuit on a debris. So just awesome in every game mode. I would love to have it on a water unit in PvP. It'll be busted in Subjugation. Fate board. And it's not timed. 40 is a lot. Okay. Let's take a look at the Karma. So once again, usually the tank units have defense-oriented Karma 1. HP, defense, all of that. And then you can go ahead and grab that recovery if you want, which is great for provoke tanks. And then more defense-oriented stuff here. I thought there would be the elemental haste, but no. Okay, no problem. And then the usual suspects here. Damage reduction, mastery, the opposite elements, resist, and then the new 30% cooldown. And so that's cool. I think that'll be useful. And obviously she can use the Subjugation Spear and maybe be built a little offensively. I think that'll be really interesting. Go ahead and eat all of the skills with the Dauntless, and then if she's still alive, cool. But she might even get her skills off before the enemy if she's the only character skill on the team. So I have some ideas how I might want to build her in PvP. And of course, like I said, if I come up with some interesting capture, I will do a follow-up video. The weapon. We have some balance here. The HP is kind of high, but not like top tier. And these are looking okay. And we have some defense scaled skills here with low multipliers, which don't end up doing that much damage. At least in, you know, for PvP, you know. So, but this is great. 19 seconds and an attack break. Really good PvE survivability there. And then a short cooldown skill to boost your defense. So that'll be cool if you're bringing this and you want to, you know, boost your defense even more. That is timed. And I think the passive is timed as well. So you can really get those defense stacks up if you're trying to do some defense scaled damage. And then a boon. Element boon, always good. I'd be a little more interested to try the subjugation spear on her, but this should do good work as a main hand in PvP as well. Should you pull? It's always the question, right? We have limited resources in this game, and we have limited units coming in hot, and it is very important to strategize if you're not a spender. And yeah, so I think she will be a very competent provoke tank for all the points that I made up to this points. And maybe you skipped Lavanya. Most people did. Could be a good grab, and the Dauntless could be pretty powerful, but again, it's very short. And yeah, if you are sitting on a lot of resources, it's not too bad to just grab her a 0. The pity is only 150. I was able to do all of this with tickets, I believe. Look at my gem stash up there. It's hardly touched. I'm waiting for something that really entices me to really go hard for Awakenings. And none of these 3 units really did it for me. And it is kind of hard to answer should you pull, because it really depends on where you're at. If you're a really new account, and especially maybe you came for the DQ crossover, then yeah, definitely she's going to be a great addition to your account. In general, as a provoke tank with that attack break, it makes her very valuable. Kind of like puts her on a similar level to Udeal. He does have the additional crit down, but she has the additional Dauntless. And I made this point before, but between like having high HP and recovery, she might be snagging your first several skills anyway, and then by the time she needs the Dauntless, it'll be worn off. Just something to consider, but I think she'll be pretty effective. And I wonder if, the introduction of a water-based Sarafa unit for PvP was introduced for the sake of like distracting us from wanting to use Abyssal because of all the issue. But now that all of the Karma units have the haste, I don't see why, we would want to be tempted away from using her. She's just kind of on par with all of the other DPS units we've gotten since Karma was released. And otherwise, if you're trying to save resources, I think it's just fine to skip her if you already have Udeal. Udeal's still doing great work. So yeah, that's probably the main point I want to make there regarding if you should pull. All right, cool. Well, like I said, I will follow up with more if I do a showcase video of her, so look out for that. And in any case, thanks again for everyone's support in helping me get to 1,000 subscribers. I am now a YouTube partner, and it was a big goal of mine, so I'm super stoked on that. So thank you for watching the videos, for subbing, for liking. All of that stuff helps me a lot. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.